What is the final in our week of CPD Tea Time chats with our lead schools who have shared lots of interesting on the ground practical work that they've been carrying out in their schools and sharing far and wide. This is being run on behalf of the Octagon Music Hub and in partnership with Somerset Music and Dorset Music Service. I'm going to hand over to our presenters today, and they are going to introduce themselves and just give you a little brief of what they're going to talk about. So I think it's over to Hanna.
Hello there. Yep, my name is Hanna Trevorrow. I work at Thomas Hardye School in Dorchester, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how we've used collaborations to grow our department. I very much want this to be just a sort of way of us sharing the ideas that we've had and how we've benefited from the use of collaborations. I appreciate there's lots of people out there who are very experienced, and I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, as it were, but I just thought it's interesting to maybe show what we've done in case it inspires you to do something similar. So yeah, we've called it the power of collaborations, ideas to help you grow your music department.
Okay.
Do you want to go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Have you gone one more?
Yeah.
Thank you. Brilliant. So yeah, Thomas Hardye School is an upper school, a large upper school in Dorchester. We are year 13 to year 18 to year 9 and above. We've got nearly 2,500 students, about 800 in the sixth form. So it's a big school. We've got 450 per year group. We offer GCSE and A-level music and music technology, and we've got lots going on in an extra from our extracurricular programme. And this year we were nominated for one of the Music and Drama Education Awards. We didn't win, but it was nice to be nominated. So I thought I'd start with COVID, because COVID was a bit of a catalyst for us, and I know that obviously lots of people's experience of COVID was very, very mixed, but in a way it was sort of like a slight blessing in disguise, maybe. We pre-COVID we had quite good turnout of our co-curricular groups and quite reasonable numbers at A-level, but obviously COVID had a massive impact on us, as it did on everybody, with from an educational point of view, and it meant that our groups and our class sizes were kind of decimated. We had like people just didn't want to get involved anymore. The culture had kind of gone. But the other thing that happened during COVID was that lots of organisations out there started putting on more online sort of content and reaching out more, and became a lot more accessible. And I think also we as staff had a little bit more time potentially to kind of research what was out there. And it was actually during that time that I became more aware of national and local organisations that were doing more activity and able to engage with them a bit more. So in September 2022, when we I think that was the start of sort of normality post-COVID, we kind of did a big relaunch of our department. And from then on, just go back a sec. From then on, we've used collaborations as a really key tool to kind of grow our department. So currently we've got increased numbers at GCSE and A-level, and we've got about 300 students a week accessing ensembles, which has been wonderful to see. So this is just a little diagram just to show like how we thought about our collaborations. Obviously, we're the centre of the music department, but we work across our school sometimes. Sometimes we work with our other local schools, mostly our feeder schools, to be honest. We're a 3-tier system, so we work with our first schools and our middle schools. And it's really important to us, that feeder setup, because the thing is that because we only get them at year 9, if we haven't really got in contact with students or sort of had influence on students prior to year 9, it feels like it might be a bit too late in year 9. So the feeders are quite important to us. We have quite a lot of contacts to our local organisations in our town, but slightly further away from our town as well, and venues, and then also reach out to national organisations as well. So it's sort of like an ever increasing circles of collaborations. So I thought I'd sort of just talk you through ways that we've done stuff. And these are not necessarily all new and exciting things, and I'm sure lots of other schools are doing similar things, but I just thought we'd share what we've done in case it inspires other schools. So one thing within our own school is we've strengthened our working with other departments, particularly with our drama and dance department. Lots of schools do work really closely with music, dance and drama already. We weren't working massively closely with dance and drama before. I think students saw themselves as drama students or music students, but more recently we have worked a lot more in collaboration. There's a lot more sort of cross-fertilisation of students, with us actively promoting each other's groups and us working together on an annual school musical, which wasn't happening annually before COVID. And then sort of other other things across the school that aren't necessarily to do with performing arts. We've worked with our special needs student teachers to get BSL added to some of our songs that we've performed in concerts. We've worked with language department and we've worked with technology department to design some actual things that we're using in the department. So sort of design projects to facilitate our department as well. I think the cross-school, going back to the cross-school stuff just sort of helps to us to raise our profile within the school. I think that's really important. And trying to get our performances out to things like assemblies and stuff is equally important in raising our profile within the school. But then we also want to work with our feeder schools. So doing joint performances with our feeder schools is really important to us. We often try and get younger children to come and perform in our choir or orchestra by giving them resources and then saying, like, teach it yourselves in your schools and then come along and join in for the final concert, which actually is beneficial to us because not only does it get those kids used to working with our older students, but also it gets the parents used to coming and seeing what we do. And also, if you've got a bigger audience, you generally make more money as well, which is handy. Sometimes we invite our, go back a bit. Sometimes we invite our younger students to just come and watch performances. We had some younger students performing at the school last week, and because they knew they were there, we then got our choir to perform to them as well. Well, just because they were there, it was sort of easy to sort of organise. And we have this annual arts fest where we kind of like host an arts festival for lots of families in the local area, where children of all ages come together and perform and do workshops and all sorts, which again is thriving, sort of working across the age group of our own school is really important, but also working across the age groups of the different schools is also important. Something I do think has worked really well for us, and I really strongly recommend considering it for other secondary schools, is using your school as a base for hosting other activities for other children in other schools. So one thing we run is we run these sort of, or we host these ensembles for younger children in our area. So our first schools wouldn't be able to provide, like, let's say there's 4 kids learning the violin in a first school. That school would not be able to offer an ensemble for those kids because they might not have the expertise and there's not really enough kids to make it viable. Whereas if we host a beginner string ensemble at our school, but make it open to everybody in the local area, that works better, and we can therefore have like 25 or 30 kids coming to Hardye's, but they're only sort of 8-9-year-olds and they're playing the violins. We do that by essentially employing our VMTs to deliver those sessions, and parents pay in, just pay a subscription to join for the term. So that seems to work really well for us. And the other thing we do is we run our own ensembles on the same night. So it means that younger children coming up on a Wednesday take part in their own beginner group, but they also see the older students walking around with their own instruments and may even hear them playing. So it becomes a kind of ethos, like a sort of culture of playing on a Wednesday night. So thinking outside the box is always really interesting with regards to taking your music outside of school, and we found that it really has helped our school to develop as well. So we have got a link with our local record store, where last year we took some of our rock bands to perform in the local record store, and sort of providing them with real world experience, I guess, of performing, which is a bit more exciting than just performing at school. And it kind of works both ways, because we get known to the record store gets known to our children, so it's kind of a win-win situation. And we have sort of links to like our local churches, a local care home, various local festivals that we liaise with, like the town council and stuff with. So yeah, looking for opportunities to take music outside of our school and outside of the schools in general, I think has been really beneficial to our students. the other thing to say with that actually is that obviously you're then making people aware of what you do in school, which sometimes brings in added benefits. So we've had, because we've been performing outside of the school situation, we've had people perhaps donate either instruments or donate money, or invite us to go and get involved in other things. So I think raising the profile outside of our school system has worked really well for us. So another thing we do, which it mentions here, is working with our local cultural organisations. One thing that I think is sort of underused is amateur music making groups that happen in lots of different towns. So we have an amateur chorus society, a community choir, and a community orchestra, and we quite often liaise with those groups and join them for a performance or something. So again, yeah, working with our adult amateur groups has really helped us to be able to achieve something that we couldn't achieve on our own. Literally last week we took 30 of our kids to play Pictures at an Exhibition with the Dorset Chamber Orchestra. Our kids would never have been able to play anything like that on their own, but to be able to join forces with some adults meant that they got an experience that was something we couldn't offer ourselves, and it was free for them to take part. The other thing we do is join with cultural organisations like our arts centre. So quite often I will look at the local arts centre programme and see what's coming up, and then sort of if there's a performer coming, for instance, that I think might be suitable to work with our kids, I will sort of reach out and say, hey, any chance you can put us in touch with so and so, and then they might come and offer to do a workshop for free or not very much money while they're down doing a performance in the local area anyway. So earlier this term we got Joe Stilgo, a very well known jazz musician who was performing down here, and he came and did a workshop for us while he was down very kindly. And we also liaise with other places in our local town. So we've got the museum, which we've worked with. When Dippy came on tour, we did a Dippy the dinosaur from the Natural History Museum. We did some project work with that. And we have some connections to some other youth organisations, music organisations in the rest of Dorset as well that we're able to link with. And all these things are about inspiring, making children want to take part in activities and events, and inspiring them to kind of keep going and also to try new things, and also getting our name out there in the local area so that we raise our own profile. And lastly, and this was the thing that I was sort of talking about that COVID helped with, was knowing what's out there nationally, because there are lots of these national organisations at the moment that are really wanting to work with state schools. Lots of them have got a sort of renewed desire to work with the state schools. Some of the organisations that in the past have been perhaps looking at the higher end of the kind of performance skill set are now realizing that it's important to support students on their whole journey. So National Youth Orchestra, they don't only offer the National Youth Orchestra, they have lots of other opportunities to join with them to make music. So in the last little while, we've worked with the National Children's Orchestra, we've worked with Gabriele Rohr, we've worked with National Youth Jazz Orchestra, and all sorts of organisations that have helped us to take part in activities that we might not otherwise have been able to do. Some of those we've just hosted something for them and just provided them with a venue. Some of them we've tried to recruit students to take part in stuff and sort of signposted them off to somewhere else, but really kind of like tried to gather our students together so they all went off somewhere together to do something. And sometimes we've taken coachloads of students to somewhere. So that picture, for instance, is Exeter Cathedral, where we took part in a Gabriele Rohr project. But it's worth looking and seeing what organisations are out there and making contact, because they can only say no. And the last thing I think is really important as a music teacher, especially in a school that has a single person department, music department, is to try and make as many connections as you can. We've got our own little network of local schools here that meet regularly. Obviously the Octagon Hub facilitates regular online and in-person meetings as well, but there are lots of organisations, national ones out there, that support CPD and provide networking opportunities. So I would recommend having a look at Music Mark or ISM or Music Teachers Association to see what they can offer as well. And I'm sure lots of people do this already, but it's worth getting on social media and trying to connect to people that way. Facebook has loads of loads of groups, but LinkedIn seems to be the new sort of music ed hub to replace Twitter. So get on those platforms and start to connect to people that are a bit further away, or just follow them to get some inspiration as well. I think the main thing about collaborations and sort of expanding your network is that it offers inspiration for you, it offers support for you, but it also provides you with opportunities to do something that you wouldn't be able to do on your own. And that's got to be better for all your students in the long run. Is that the end? Oh yeah, I thought I'd put a what's next for us. So we're always looking for more people we can collaborate with. I think it's really exciting when we find new people to collaborate with. I'm really hopeful that we can develop the concept of using music within creative health and within our school community in the future. We haven't got many contacts to higher education providers, so I'm hopeful that we might develop that in the future. I said we work with our feeder schools a lot, but it'd be interesting for us to work more with other secondary schools in the wider Dorset area. Hopeful that with the hub going the way it's going, we can expand that kind of collaborative approach as well. So yeah, hopefully that's been interesting and maybe inspiring, and given some ideas potentially of what you could do with regards to collaboration to help you to grow your department. I think the most important thing is don't feel like you should operate in isolation. Reach out and work with people. I think it's also important to advocate for having time to do that with your SLT. I think you can sometimes think it's like an extra thing, a nice thing to an add-on, but actually giving yourself some time to go to those network meetings or reach out to people, have those conversations, reply to those emails. It's all really important. So yeah, talk to SLT about giving yourself the opportunity to make those collaborations to make the impact.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Yeah, brilliant. Gosh, it's amazing. So much. And as you say, it's really important about taking music outside of the classroom, isn't it? And realizing it can go into the world and sharing it with others, and sharing with others that are kind of maybe further on their journey in their music than you, that can see where you can grow to. So yeah, brilliant. So we are now over to Lorraine. So you can introduce while I get the PowerPoint up to share.
So my name is Lorraine Clarke and I work at West Pennard Primary School, which is a school in Somerset, just outside Glastonbury. I wanted to talk to you or share with you more about how things got started for me. I've been working at West Pennard for probably just over 8 years, but I took on the music lead role a few years ago. So when I took it on, we had the curriculum in place, which was fine, but we didn't have much more in terms of extra things going on, sort of clubs involved in sort of performances and just linking up the community. So hence that's what I'm going to share today. So hopefully everyone can get something out of it if you're starting out or if you're just want other ideas as well. So there we are, just in by Glastonbury tour in the background in Somerset. We've got about 219 on roll, which is part of 7 classes. We've got 1 full entry in single year class groups. So how it all began from my musical journey is I've got a collection of different ensembles that I've built up over the past few years, and I have different ones running at different terms throughout the year. But yeah, along the way there was barriers which I'm going to share with you, but also ways how I overcame them as well. So it started off for me with jumpy drumming. I have my own background as a child growing up with music, but certainly never anything to do with drumming. So it started when I saw, for my own personal interest, a 6-week course advertised for adults near where I lived. So I attended that. and 3 years later I'm still going, because I found the local group that carried on, which was not just the 6-week course. So I developed my own interest in that and wanted to bring it into school to share it with the children. But the problem we had was we had 2 small djembe drums in school, and that was it. So my challenge was to find some money to buy a whole class set of djembe drums. So with that, I applied through the Universal Music UK Sound Foundation, which you can see the link there. And I was successful first time, which was brilliant. They can fund up to £1,000, and I got awarded 750. I was still a bit short, but I wrote a lovely begging letter to the school PTA, who was fundraising, and they agreed to help me fund the rest. And that's where I started off with my 30 drums, which I purchased there. So children were trained up on djembe drums, loved the djembe drums, but it's then what sort of to do with them to show off their talent really, and how hard they've been working. So there's other things I found out then going on in the local area. One which Somerset Music, Nicola's team organised, which are brilliant. They organise each year, and it's at Strode Theatre. So the children have the whole experience of performing on stage theatre, and it's lovely with the curtains opening, so they set up behind and bright lights, see your faces. It's, yeah, they talk about it throughout the year. So this Midsummer Spectacular Concert, Strode, it was not too far from us. So the parents, I asked them to drop off and collect, so therefore no travel expenses, which can add up to be quite costly. So that's when we started, and we've carried on. Then a couple of years ago we tried Hybrid Arts Festival, and they also helped towards the cost of the coach. It was subsidised 100, or actually we've got a little bit more because we came quite far, about 40 minutes from Glastonbury. But do find out about the local festivals in the area. They are keen to have children there, instrumentalists there. They actually mentioned when I was talking to them at Hybrid Arts Festival, they're actually struggling to get more instrumentalists there. So yeah, very keen, very welcoming, and will help out. Then we do our own sort of end of year school concerts, music extravaganza, which with that I don't ever charge, but I ask for donations really, get the children rattling their donations bucket, and that can go to money towards other things to set up. In the past we've also been at Wells Cathedral, but again that's joining Somerset Music, what they offered. They arranged a concert around Christmas time, so join it with other schools of all different ages, which is lovely for the children to see and work alongside with as well. For my clubs I don't charge, I just want really children to be able to access music no matter sort of what background, financial constraints, etc. So there's some of my little drummers there, and they have it all across the year groups. There's some other ones I wanted just to share with you for funding ideas. Music for All, the Foyle Foundation and Blue Spark Foundation. I've had mixed success, but always handy to know what grants you can apply for and what's out there. So going on, we have set up a choir, which was a bit sort of daunted first of all, because I am no means a trained singer or anything like that. But for me, it was just about getting children together and just enjoying singing together and sort of sharing that passion. I work 4 days a week, and after school I've got a staff meeting one day, senior leadership team meeting the other. Amongst my roles I'm also teaching one day, so marking a lot of books, so I'm quite limited on time available. So what I decided to do was early bird clubs. So our school gates open at 8:30 a.m. with the bell going at 8:45, so I've got a 15-minute slot. It would be easy to say it's too short, it's no point, but actually there is a point and it gets it going. But it's very short, but it is definitely possible. We've achieved a lot with just rocking up for 15 minutes and singing. If there is a performance, then yeah, I do slot in extra rehearsals and maybe during the afternoon or an assembly. But yeah, for me the barrier, as I said, was I'm not a trained singer, and not particularly a confident soloist or anything, but actually there's so much material out there that anyone really can do it. Doesn't matter sort of background or music or not. There's material you can purchase, or even just backing tracks on YouTube, karaoke conversion website, which you can adapt how you want the track, if you want the singer, not changing the tempo or the pitch. So there's lots out there, definitely. So then it was where to show off the children. So not far from where we are, we've got a residential care home for the elderly, and we visit them a couple of times throughout the year, which they really, really appreciate, because I got a feeling we're probably the only children they see, and they always buy the children sweets when we go, so the children are really happy to perform down there, but just singing them, a collection of songs. And we started a few years ago, Carols in the Community, as we call it, where we do hire a coach and we go on tour and visit 3 local churches, singing our repertoire of Christmas songs, we do it in December. The coach hire is costly and a challenge. However, this year we tried asking one of the local parish councils to help, where we sang at the local church, and they were quite happy to support us. So actually sometimes it's just reaching out and seeing what is in local community or people you can tap up to help. They were keen for the church to be used for events and the children to bring them there, so it supported them as well, definitely. Other projects with choir is joining other schools. It's really important, that networking. You can get involved in events we wouldn't been able to do if we're by ourselves. So Millfield have been brilliant and teamed up. We've teamed up with them for various projects, been invited to, again, Wells Cathedral, and other events. We also were involved recently with Jackdaws, which is another music company locally, who they brought some local schools together and hosted the Blues School. We did an opera performance, which was lovely. It was all child friendly, involved football, so children were really pleased, and actually a completely different experience of working with professional opera singers. So again, there is things out there, definitely. That's some of my lovely choir lot. So with Millfield as well, their project at the bottom right corner, residential home. So then I wanted to do more for my younger children. So I set up an ocarina club for my year 1s, year 2. So again, it's another challenge of how am I going to fit this in, because I like to do lots. So again, it was another early bird club, so that 15 minutes. It was really easy to set up, to be honest, and I wouldn't even say you need to have a music background to do it. My club, again, is free, but the children have to purchase their own ocarina, and I give the link to parents to ensure they've got the right ocarina. It's got to be a 4-hole, and it's tuned, I think they're all tuned to D, which is ideal for little children, little fingers. I personally prefer it than a recorder. I think you can move on a lot more quicker. The children enjoy seeing their success, and after 1 session or 2 sessions, they can play whole pieces. It's lovely, and the way music is written to begin with, it's picture of the 4 holes, and basically if it's coloured in, then that's where you cover the hole with your finger. So they can learn quite quickly, and then obviously you can teach more about the music notation later on. So again, it's showing them off where we put them. So we've done various things in school services, the Christmas service. Again, the Arts Festival, I took them there as well this year, as well as my German drummers, which they were pleased at. It's a very different performance than straight on stage. It was in a local church venue, but you get adjudicated there and they can win their medals, which they were really chuffed about because they got their gold medals. Another one they talk about a lot throughout the year. Then obviously our end of year school concert as well. So another club I do just for the autumn term, for years 1 to 3. Again, all free, but handbells. We've got a rainbow coloured set, and I managed to buy this just from Amazon, but from the donations collected at the end of year music concert. So then this was easy to set up with the music already, sort of you can buy with it. You can with ocarinas all there for you. So I did that one. What was nice with that one, there was also a local adult handbell group in the area, and they performed with us and joined in with one of our Christmas songs sort of together, but also did their own performance to the children in assembly. We did our bit. So it's actually finding out again what's in your local community and inviting them in. They love playing to to an audience, to children especially, and we love having live music. So again, it's a win-win situation, and it works well for both of us. That is my end of year music concert, the music extravaganza. So many acts is really ready to go. So it's not about start from scratch. So all my clubs, so djembe drumming, choir, ocarina, I don't always have my hand at bell just because they were right at the beginning of the year, but they're already got material ready. The private instrumental teachers that come in, I let them know as well in advance. And also it's great PR for them too. So quite quickly you can have a concert sort of brought together, which is brilliant. And other ways we work with schools in different ways. As you may well remember, for those more local in Somerset, on Wells Cathedral on the Green, they used to do country dancing where all local schools would join together. And it was a really lovely experience. Unfortunately, when COVID hit, and after that, it didn't really set up again. So therefore, I thought, well, we still have the material, the dance instructions, the music. So what we've done is set it up, we let local schools know, and we haven't got a live band, but we have got a good PA system. So we play the music across the field, and basically, have our own little mini festival and dancing all together with local schools that we invite. But I always make sure when they sign up for the club that they are available on that particular date, just so I know I'm definitely going to have them. And it's lovely that in a way that the PTA also do their bit of fundraising, sell food and drink, and we invite the schools also to have their own school stall if they want to raise money for their school as well. It's about spreading the load. Just because you may be music lead doesn't mean you have to take it all on. So I've mentioned about other instrumental teachers, but we also have Rocksteady come in, which is private. Parents do pay, but they also give some placements for free, and they match fund as well. So if you pay, they will match fund it and give you a free place as well. So it's a nice way to get some of those, especially from disadvantaged background, involved. They do their own termly concerts. So one which is not to do with me, I email parents, but they take it all on and do it, which is lovely. So spreading the load, we obviously have key nativity play, which many younger schools do for Key Stage 1. Key Stage 2 have their own end of year performance. We also brought into Somerset whole class instrumental tuition, and our year 4s play the ukulele. So at the end of the year they do their own little concert assembly as well. Also throughout the year, if children have been working hard on their instrument learning, they're welcome just to perform an assembly, just to have that experience as well, build up their confidence. So our music curriculum is taught by Andrew North, who's a very talented musician, but he's also very knowledgeable about ICT and music. So he put together for me, for those who want some more ideas about what music apps is out there, or get started, primary or so on, a list there. So I'm not going to go through it all, but when you can replay the video, you can look at these in a bit more detail. But there is lots there. For all age groups. We have even our year 1s accessing it up to year 6, who's working more with music notation chords, for example. Lots of online sequences as well, and another few apps there for you. So that is me. Hope that's given you some ideas or thoughts and helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and your school sounds like an exciting place to be, so I think I might come.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much today for those 2 presentations.